Let me guess. You've been scrolling Zillow late at night, seeing Denver home prices, and you're thinking, there's no way I can actually buy a home here, especially if your budget is somewhere between $500,000 and $800,000. So today, I want to answer one very real question I hear all the time from first-time buyers. Can you actually buy a home in Denver in that price range? And the short answer is yes. Yes, you can. But what you can buy and where might look different than you expect. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's realistic, what's not, and how to buy smart without feeling overwhelmed. First things first, let's reset expectations. When people hear Denver, they picture different things. They picture a big house, walkable streets, trendy coffee shops, and mountain views. And that is possible in certain areas and certain price ranges, but not everywhere. So Denver is actually many different markets inside of one city. And a $550,000 home in one neighborhood looks totally different than a $550,000 home just 5 miles away. So in the $500,000 to $800,000 range, most first-time buyers are going to choose between a smaller single-family home, a townhome or duplex, or a newer condo in a great location. And here's the key mindset shift. Your first home does not have to be your forever home. It just has to be a smart step forward. Let me tell you a little bit about Lori and me. We bought our first home in an area called Washington Park. This was in 1996. We bought a house for $190,000. Granted, it was 30 years ago. Now, something to keep in mind. It had gold drapes that looked like they're in a movie theater. It had a pink tub, a pink sink, and a pink toilet. It needed so much work. Cosmetic, not moving walls and things. And we took our time. We made good decisions. We put sweat equity into it. And several years later, we sold the house for $310,000, taking that profit, put it into our home here in Littleton where we raised our family and our kids went to schools. One of the best decisions we ever made. But it wouldn't have been possible if we didn't take the step and buy the first house that created the leverage and the equity to buy the forever house. So remember that. Your first home doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a smart move. So let's look at the brackets between 500 and 800, starting with 500 to 600,000. At this price point in Denver, you're realistically looking at townhomes or paired homes, condos with solid layouts, smaller single-family homes, often maybe a little ways outside from downtown. Here's what these homes will probably not have. They're probably not going to have huge yards. They're not going to have brand new everything or that HGTV dream home look. But here's what they do often have. Great bones, strong resale potential, and access to parks, trails, and growing neighborhoods. For many first-time buyers, this range is about getting into the market, building equity, and not stretching your budget so thin that you can't enjoy your life. So let's take a second and move up to the 600 to 700 range. When you're here, things start to open up a little bit. This is where many first-time buyers find the best balance. You might start seeing updated single-family homes, better school zones as determined by online ratings agencies, more space for a future family, and maybe quieter, more established neighborhoods. You might still have to compromise when it comes to square footage or having every upgrade you want, but you gain options, and options matter. This range often gives buyers the confidence to say, I can see myself here for the next 5 to 7 years. And that's a huge win for a first home. It's really what I would call the sweet spot for many first-time buyers. Now, let's move up to the 700 to 800 bracket. If this is your budget, you're no longer asking if you can buy, but you're deciding where and how. In this range, you're going to find larger single-family homes, better layouts for working from home, nicer finishes, strong long-term neighborhoods. But, and this is important, just because you can spend more doesn't always mean you should. I like to say that if you can put your head on the pillow at night and sleep well, thinking about the check you're going to write every month, you're one step closer to buying the right house. 2 questions I like to ask my buyers: will this payment still feel comfortable if your life changes significantly? And the second question is, are you leaving room to save money or start a family? Make sure you got a little cushion in there. If you're spending every nickel every month on your mortgage, now you're living for your house instead of your house living for you. Does that make sense? So in the end, comfort matters more than maxing out your budget. Let's talk about some mistakes, because boy, do first-time buyers make mistakes. And so the biggest mistake that I see first-time buyers make in our area is they assume that the price alone determines whether a home is a good value or a bad value. But what really matters is the neighborhood growing? Is it vibrant? How long do you plan to stay there? And does this home fit your lifestyle and not just your wish list? If you think about it differently, a $550,000 home, if you buy smartly, prepared to put a little sweat equity into it, and it fits your budget so that you can sleep at night, and you got a little cushion, a little reserve in case something goes weird in your life, that can be a much better decision than going to buy a $700,000 house that maxes out your budget, leaves no room for savings, and you're an emotional train wreck every month. Strategy always beats impulse. In short, how you buy sometimes matters more than what you buy. Now, how do first-time buyers win in this price range? Let's start what they don't do. First-time buyers who win, they do not rush, they do not panic, and they do not try to compete blindly. So what do? They understand their real monthly comfort zone as it relates to payment. They stay flexible on the layout or the location, and they work with a seasoned veteran professional who explains and educates the concepts and strategies that go into this transaction, and they never let you feel pressured. At the Perry Properties Group, our job isn't to sell you a house. Sorry. Our job is to help you make intelligent and informed decisions so you feel good about your home purchase, not only now, but for years to come. The right steward, the right guide can change everything for you. So, can you really buy a home in Denver on $500,000 to $800,000? Yeah, of course you can. But the best results come from having a plan, not just a budget. So if you're a first-time buyer and you want clarity without pressure, we're happy to help. Just give me a call at 720-320-2288 or by email at wade@perrypropertiesgroup.com. And it would be a privilege to sit with you, listen to you about your needs and wants, help you learn about your options, your comfort level, and what actually makes sense for your life and your family's life. Because at the end of the day, buying your first home isn't about keeping up with the market. It's about moving forward with confidence. Cheers to being green and growing.